Welcome everybody to a video by myself. As you can see, there's no John. I'm all alone. We're talking about Elimination Chamber 2024 live from Perth. That was the Saturday just gone. This is the Wednesday. So there's a few days gone by since Elimination Chamber. John's already done his video. If you've not seen it, go back and check the last video that was on there. John's put his thoughts down. He's marked it out of 10. I'm going to do the same, but I've not really gone into that much detail about it. I'm just going to give my thoughts on each match, where I think they're going to go from there, and talk about some moments that happened that I thought was really great, and my thoughts about it being in Australia. But first off, as always, if you want your WWE merch, link in the description below. Click the link, go and help the fellas out. All your t-shirts from the Elimination Chamber, Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, R-Truth, Judgment Day, they're all in that link in the description below. And as always, follow all the socials. Again, links in the description below and along the bottom of the video as I do this. Let's get started. So the first ever Elimination Chamber came at us in 2002 Survivor Series for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H defended his World Heavyweight title against Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam, Booker T, Chris Jericho and Kane. Shawn Michaels came out on top in absolute quality Elimination Chamber. Since then, there's been so many participants. You've had, Chris Jericho, Triple H, Booker T, Kane, Rob Van Dam, Shawn Michaels, Goldberg, Batista, Edge, Kurt Angle, Carlito, Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston. So many people. CM Punk, Hardcore Holly in that. You also had the awful ECW one. But it's grew into its own pay-per-view. And not every single Elimination Chamber has been amazing, but this pay-per-view I thought was great. I enjoyed it. We had a pre-show match that got announced, I think, the day before, I think it was. I didn't know about it, so we didn't do any kind of prediction. We would have gone with the Kabuki Warriors, obviously. But that was the pre-show match. It was the Kabuki Warriors defeated Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, so I can't mention anything about it because I didn't watch it. So the Women's Elimination Chamber opened up the show. Not surprised at this, to be quite honest with you. We always know one Elimination Chamber, whether it's the women's or men's, will always open the show. Becky, Bianca, Liv, Naomi, Raquel and Tiffany. I thought all of them put on a good showing. It started off with Becky and Naomi. I thought Becky and Naomi had a good opening. Naomi was a little bit sloppy. If anyone knows me, knows I like Naomi. I think she's a good wrestler. Her mic skills have got so much better as a TNA tenure went on, and now she's back in WWE. But I think whether it was nerves or something at the start of the match, could be because it's a big arena. It's intimidating. Could be it. But at the start of the match, she was a bit sloppy. But as it went on, she gained confidence. Becky's Becky. She's up there with Rhea and Charlotte and Bianca and Asuka as the best wrestlers in the company. Then Tiffany came out next. Tiffany put on a show better than anyone in the match. I'm sorry, but you can argue with me all you want. You can argue with Becky put on a show. Liv did. Liv told a good story. Bianca did. I thought Tiffany outshone everyone. And I was saying it, I was on the headset to Tomo. Shout out to Tomo. I said this is what she does. Like, she's so good, Tiffany, and I just don't think people realise, because they look at her and think, blonde girl. But if you've watched her NXT stuff, she's amazing. She's so good. And a main event with Becky at NXT No Mercy last year, I did it in my NXT review. Again, you've got to go and watch that in videos. She's amazing. She did a swanton off the top, or a senton, or whatever you want to call it, off the top of the pod. She took some physical damage as well. Obviously she was protecting herself, but Naomi was hitting her head against the glass, or the plexiglass, or whatever you want to call it. Raquel then came out. Raquel was wearing no makeup, and she had a flare up of the issue she's been having. Do you know what? She looked beautiful. She looked stunning. and her ring skills, that didn't stop her. She was herself. Put on a great showing. Dominant. Proper showed why she should be in there. Bianca then next, and Bianca, we know how good Bianca is. Same with Liv and same with Becky. It came down to Becky and Liv, and this is where me and John both said, is it going to be Liv? Is it going to be Becky? They're going to do the Liv Revenge tour against Rhea. It's going to be Rhea and Becky. Becky won, but Liv's got nothing to be upset for. Liv absolutely put on a great showing, and I think I wouldn't mind if she got put into that match. I feel like it's going to be a fatal four-way with her and Nia, Becky and Rhea, but I won't mind it a triple threat. That was the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Absolute quality. Loved it. The better Elimination Chamber match of the night for me. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10? No, we'll give it 9. We'll give it 9 out of 10. Judgment Day versus the New Catch Republic. I said it on the pod for the predictions. I hate the name. British Strong Style. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate against Finn and Damian Priest for the tag titles. Tomo, again, shout out to Tomo. He was watching it and he's like, I didn't realise how good Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne were. And I'm like, Pete Dunne's been held down by not by Ridge and Sheamus, obviously, with the story he's been put in with him, with the Brawling Brutes. As Pete Dunne, he was himself. He was quality. And I know, like, there's so many people like Wheezy Blondes, there's out, it doesn't matter who, what his name is, he's always the same person. It's not, though. If you watch Butch in the ring compared to Pete Dunne in the ring, it's the same person, but I feel like Butch was a watered down version of Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne put on an amazing showing. I think if that was Butch, it wouldn't have been the same. And Tyler Bate is quality. Saw it in NXT UK, saw it in the indie scene, WCPW and Preston City Wrestling, wherever he wrestled. Every time I watched him in the independents in the UK, he's quality. And he put it on him and Trent Seven as British Strong Style and Pete Dunne. Quality. I'd give that match a 7. I really enjoyed it. And at one point I really did think they were going to give it to Pete and Tyler. But again, where was our truth? I know before the event he said he was in Austria because he got the wrong place. But come on, man, where was the Miz? Again, it's that thing. I said it on the podcast that's coming out. It infuriates me that they don't follow up on stories and why they're not coming out to try and cost their enemies the match. I don't get it. Then we had the men's elimination chamber between Drew, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Randy Orton. I thought the women's was better, but I thought this had better storytelling. We knew Drew was going to do anything it takes to go and face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. Bobby Lashley, I wasn't sure why he was in there. Whether it was star power. I thought originally it was they were going to get Carrion. Again, nothing to do with Carrion happened. But I thought they were going to get Carrion to get involved, and then Bronson Reed takes his place. So Bronson Reed's on the show for Australia. But it turns out Bronson Reed had a baby and he requested some time off, and that's why he wasn't. But he was originally going to be in it, from what I've read. Before, obviously, that was before, after they found out Seth Rollins was going to be injured, because it was going to be Bronson and Seth. But yeah, I thought this had better storytelling, but the women's match was better. Bobby was a machine. There was people put through pods. Logan Paul showed why he's a true star and why he should be in WWE. Randy Orton, you expect it out of him. LA Knight putting a good performance. And Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens, do you know what I mean? You know what you're getting off Kevin Owens, always a 5-star. But with the men's match, it started out with LA Knight and Drew McIntyre. It's what you expect from an opening match, opening between them two. And then Kevin Owens came out, added a little bit of dynamic to it, and Kevin Owens really put on a performance that was worthy, and you think, yeah, he could go all the way here. And then it was Lashley. Lashley came out and spearing everyone, spared people. I'm sure he spared Logan through the pod. It looked like he hurt Logan. Logan, while he was in his pod, by the way, originally was drawing on the pods pictures of Kevin Owens. And then Randy Orton came out. Then Logan Paul came out. Elimination wise, Bobby Lashley getting eliminated made sense. There was no reason. He was the first one eliminated. There was no reason for him to be in the match. It didn't. I don't understand why he was there. I think it was just, we need to put someone in it. We'll put him in it instead of AJ, who's in a feud with LA Knight. But with Bobby Lashley, he got eliminated by Drew. They opened the chamber door, obviously, to help Bobby out. It was open for way too long, and then immediately you knew something was going to happen, and AJ ran in and hit LA Knight with a chair several times. And then Drew pinned him for the count. So AJ cost LA Knight, and it looks like we're going to get AJ versus LA Knight at WrestleMania. Then Kevin Owens got an RKO and was pinned by Randy Orton. I believe it was an RKO. And then you thought, okay, now it's down to Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre. So it's looking like it's going the way it should be, Drew winning. Then Logan Paul gets hit with an RKO as he's taunting, and Randy pins him. 1, 2, 3. Then it's down to Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Then you think, and as I'm watching it, and Tomo, obviously I'm watching it with Tomo, and he's, I don't, whether he did or not, I don't know, but I just kept noticing Logan Paul was still there. He was still in the chamber. There was no reason for him to still be there. But that's when I started going, they're gonna do Randy Orton versus Logan Paul there. And then Logan Paul cost Randy Orton with the brass knucks, and then Drew hit the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre goes to WrestleMania to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title, like we knew was going to happen. It's better storytelling in the men's match, but I thought the women's was a lot better. I enjoyed the women's more. And then we had the main event, Rhea versus Nia. I was surprised it was the main event, because not because of Rhea, but because of Nia. I don't think Nia's got the pulling power for main event status. I was wrong. But I think if that was anyone else in the main event with Nia, I don't think it would have worked. Rhea just showed how dominant she is. Oh, sorry, the men's match, I'd give the women's a 9. I'll give the men's an 8.5. But yeah, the Rhea and Nia match, I wasn't as interested, because we all knew Rhea was going to win. And I don't like Nia. I'm not interested in anything Nia does. But that being said, Rhea got a pop. She got a win in her hometown. She celebrated with her family. It was nice to see. The main event just wasn't for me. I would have probably put the men's Elimination Chamber last. Or the women's actually, and have Rhea come out. I probably would have done that. But Rhea won, thanks to a Riptide, and retained the Women's World Championship. So that means it's Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania. That was Elimination Chamber. As a whole, it did what it was supposed to do. Australia as a whole, I thought the crowd was okay. It was a good crowd. I don't think it was better than London for Money in the Bank or in Cardiff for Clash at the Castle. But it was okay. It was a good crowd. There was a lot taped off. Obviously, a stadium like that, it's 70, I think it was set up to 70,000, I think, something like that. They sold 54,000 tickets that was on sale. Everything, so it was sold out in terms of tickets they sold and the amount they sold out. It was just, there was a lot taped off. Elimination Chamber as a whole, I'd give it an 8. I enjoyed every match bar the last one. Obviously, I didn't watch the pre-show, but it did what it was meant to do, and it was to set up matches for WrestleMania. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Elimination Chamber. It's not one of my favourite pay-per-views, but it's a pay-per-view where I'll sit there and I'll watch every pay-per-view, but I paid attention. I like the Elimination Chamber. I like the concept. It's a great concept. I feel like it's slowly dying off, though. There's not much that goes into it anymore. Whereas with the old Elimination Chambers, it was more brutal. Ruthless Aggression era, it was more brutal, and you could do more. And Triple H brought sledgehammers out and stuff like that. It was more, bloody and stuff. I don't think the Elimination Chamber, it's like Hell in a Cell. I don't think it works without blood properly. But hey, that's just my point of view. If you agree or disagree, put the comment section, put it in there down below, and let me know what you think of Elimination Chamber. Go and watch John's video as well. We put that on there. As I said at the start of the video, link in the description below for all your WWE Euroshop by Fanatics needs. Whether it's t-shirts, pops, championship belts, or anything like that, go and grab them. And all the links to the social media is down below. Twitter and Facebook, Wrestling Fellas. Instagram, Wrestling_Fellas Pod. TikTok, Wrestling Fellas Pod. Go catch us out on there. But for now, folks, till the next time. Peace.